Breaking news: 7 nations are slashing U.S. exports as Canada leads a bold new trade path. This isn't just a headline, it's a turning point that could reshape the global economic landscape for years to come. We are witnessing a seismic shift in the global economy, one that is sending shockwaves through financial markets, boardrooms, and government offices worldwide. At least 7 major exporters are deliberately reducing their dependence on the U.S. Not a blip, but a strategic pivot. These countries are making calculated moves, signaling a new era of international trade. The volatility of the last decade, pandemics, supply chain chaos, and geopolitical tensions, has taught nations that over-reliance on the U.S. is a critical vulnerability. The world has learned the hard way that putting all your eggs in one basket can be risky. Now, countries are actively de-risking by spreading exports across more partners, building a resilient foundation for future prosperity. The list of nations making this move is significant and growing by the month. Canada, Mexico, India, each is charting its own course, seeking new markets and forging new alliances. Vietnam, and even China, are joining this wave of diversification, looking beyond traditional partners to secure their economic futures. They're rewriting their economic playbooks, rethinking old assumptions, and embracing a more flexible, adaptive approach to global trade. The focus is shifting from just finding customers to forging reliable, long-term partnerships that can weather storms and adapt to change. This is driving a surge in new trade agreements, infrastructure investments, and regional alliances. Countries are pouring resources into modernizing ports, building logistics hubs, and strengthening regional supply chains. The goal: a safety net against the next global crisis, whether it's a pandemic, a natural disaster, or a sudden political shock. Nations want to be ready for whatever comes next. The U.S. was once the undisputed center of global demand, but that center is fragmenting. Trade routes are shifting, and new patterns are emerging. New economic poles are rising in Asia, Latin America, and beyond. This isn't anti-American, it's pro-resilience, a pragmatic response to a more unpredictable world. The world is becoming more complex, uncertain, and multipolar. Decision makers are navigating a landscape where flexibility and adaptability are more valuable than ever. Pragmatism, not ideology, is driving this transformation. The age of single market dominance is fading, replaced by a new era of diversified, interconnected global trade. These 7 nations are diversifying away from the U.S., forging new paths in a rapidly shifting global landscape. The reason is simple: the world has changed in ways that few could have predicted just a decade ago. The era of smooth, predictable globalization is over. Today, supply chains are more fragile than ever, and geopolitical risks are at an all-time high, making old strategies obsolete. Economic resilience has become the new mantra. Efficiency alone is no longer enough to weather the storms of uncertainty and disruption. In response, countries are building redundancy into their systems, seeking out new sources for critical goods, and expanding their trade networks to reduce vulnerability. The strategy is clear: move from risky dependence on a single partner to a more balanced interdependence, where no one nation holds all the cards. This massive rewiring of global commerce involves both government and business leaders working together, reshaping the rules of international trade. We're witnessing a surge in new trade agreements that bypass the old US-centric hubs, like the CPTPP and RCEP in Asia, creating fresh opportunities and alliances. To support these new alliances, nations are investing billions in infrastructure, building ports, railways, and digital networks to connect directly with emerging markets and each other. These deals go far beyond just tariffs. They now cover digital trade, environmental standards, labor rights, and even technology sharing, reflecting the complexity of today's global economy. By building these new networks, countries are not only diversifying risk but also boosting their geopolitical influence, ensuring they have a stronger voice on the world stage. In this new era, nations aren't just adapting to change, they're actively shaping the new global order, setting the stage for the next chapter in international relations. Nowhere is this pivot more striking than in Canada, America's closest ally. For decades, over 70% of Canadian exports went south. That's changing. Ottawa is recalibrating, no longer taking U.S. stability for granted. The turbulent USMCA negotiations and U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods were wake-up calls. Rising U.S. protectionism has convinced Canada it must diversify to survive. Canada is aggressively seeking new markets: Asia-Pacific, the EU, India. The message: Canada is open for business with the world. At the same time, Canada is preparing to play hardball with the US, identifying leverage points and defending its interests. This assertiveness marks a new confidence in Canada's economic strengths. Even close allies must now stand their ground. Canada is finding its voice, and it's speaking the language of strategic interest. The 2026 USMCA review looms, shaping Canada's trade posture. Canada braces for tough fights over dairy, alcohol, and digital trade. Core issues, not technicalities. The US wants more access to Canada's protected dairy market, but Canada is holding firm to support its farmers. Alcohol is another flashpoint, with US producers challenging Canadian rules. Digital trade is even more complex. Canada's new privacy laws clash with US tech interests. These disputes reflect deeper differences in regulatory philosophy. The US seeks transactional wins. Canada sees this as a test of sovereignty. The outcome will shape not just North American trade, but how middle powers navigate superpower relationships. This is about more than conspiracy combines. It's about national priorities and autonomy. The stakes couldn't be higher. Canada isn't coming to the USMCA table empty-handed. It has a powerful bargaining chip: critical minerals. These resources are essential for the technologies that power our modern world, from electric vehicles to smartphones and renewable energy systems. With the world hungry for lithium, cobalt, and rare earths, Canada is a treasure trove. Its vast reserves and advanced mining sector make it a global leader in supplying these vital materials, positioning the country at the heart of the green energy transition. The US, eager to secure these resources amid fierce competition with China and other global players, needs Canada more than ever. Reliable access to Canadian minerals is crucial for American industries and national security. Ottawa is framing minerals as a strategic asset, linking access to fairer treatment on other trade issues. By leveraging its mineral wealth, Canada is demanding respect and reciprocity in broader economic negotiations. But to maximize leverage, Canada needs a united front, federal and provincial governments working together. Only by presenting a cohesive strategy can Canada fully capitalize on its mineral advantage. Intense talks with provincial premiers aim to align strategies on resource development and regulation. This coordination ensures that all regions benefit, and that Canada speaks with one powerful voice. This Team Canada approach prevents the US from playing provinces against each other, strengthening Canada's negotiating position and protecting national interests. It's a new level of political maturity and strategic foresight, showing that Canada is ready to lead on the world stage and set the terms of engagement. Canada is proactively shaping its destiny, not just reacting to US pressure. By taking initiative, it's ensuring its resources are valued and its voice is heard. Canada expects to be treated as an indispensable partner in building resilient supply chains, one that is respected, valued, and recognized for its essential contributions to North America's future prosperity. As Canada recalibrates, India is making even bigger waves in global trade. Once seen as a sleeping giant, India is now surging as an export powerhouse. Aggressive free trade deals and a competitive currency are fueling India's rise. India is becoming a credible alternative to China for manufacturing and supply chains. After leaving RCEP, India struck deals with the UAE, Australia, and is negotiating with the UK and EU. Government initiatives and a favorable rupee are attracting foreign investment. Companies seeking to diversify away from China are turning to India. This China Plus One strategy is driving a manufacturing boom. India is actively creating opportunities, leveraging its market, workforce, and infrastructure. Its rise is reshaping the global economic landscape. Trade diversification is sweeping Asia, the world's manufacturing hub. Even China is reducing its reliance on the US, building alternative networks in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. China's goals: secure new markets and build a more Sino-centric economic sphere. While still exporting massively to the US, China's policy is clear: diversify and build resilience. Vietnam too has benefited from companies moving production out of China, but Vietnam is wary of overdependence on any single market. It's aggressively pursuing free trade deals, CPTPP, RCEP, and with the EU. Vietnam is now a global manufacturing hub with a diversified export portfolio. Its model, embracing free trade and seeking new markets, is being emulated worldwide. Medium-sized countries can thrive by navigating great power competition with agility. Step back and a clear picture emerges. The unipolar US-dominated economic order is fading. We're entering a multi-centered world economy. The US remains vital, but new centers of power are rising, creating a more complex global system. This isn't about US decline, but about others rising. Asia, Latin America, and Africa are now massive consumer markets and innovation hubs. These regions are building their own trade blocs and institutions, a network of networks. Trade policy is now intertwined with geopolitics. National security, autonomy, and alliances matter more than ever. Friendshoring and strategic trade are the new norms. The US can no longer dictate terms. Influence must be earned through partnership. Countries have options, giving them more agency and bargaining power. The world is becoming a web of interconnected nodes, not a pyramid. So, where is this all heading? Will a multi-centered world be more stable or more competitive? A distributed system could be more resilient, with multiple engines of growth and better shock absorption. New centers could mean more balanced, equitable globalization and shared leadership. But fragmentation could also bring protectionism, rivalry, and weaponized trade. We could see competing blocs, each with its own rules and standards. The future is unwritten. It depends on the choices leaders make now. Will they build bridges or walls? Focus on shared challenges or narrow interests? The path we choose will define whether this new order brings stability or division.